Okay.
That's good. Are you fine?
Yeah.
We gonna talk about these nuts.
These ones right here.
Yeah. We have a tropical nut extravaganza taste test.
Degustación. Tasting. Yeah.
Hello, Natalia.
Hello.
Welcome to YouTube.
Welcome to our outer office.
Yes.
We've been wanting to try these nuts for a while.
We watched the Zac Efron Netflix documentary with this guy Darian, who's a vegan superfood. Darren, vegan superfood explorer, and he's got this company. This is not sponsored, but I'd never heard of this nut. Had you?
No.
Baruca nut. Super nuts of the savannah. I wonder if it's a true nut, because
What's a nut?
pretty much nobody knows. A nut is, and a seed is different, but then there's also this thing called a drupe, which is like an almond, or the inside of a apricot is considered a drupe, and then a seed is actually the food for a fruit or a plant to survive, and then a nut is the seed inside of the flesh of a fruit that is the reproductive organ. It's honestly pretty complicated.
What's the difference of a drupe and a nut?
I literally don't know. It pretty much, like what I've seen is like pecans and walnuts, I think are like the truest nut, but an almond is a drupe, and
like a true nut, I think it has to have the hard outer shell
Yes.
you need to crack.
Yes.
And the seed, like you'll just like find it like in a pumpkin. You don't have, but the seed also has a hard outer shell, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it's super
The pumpkin
confusing.
seed?
And like if you Google it, there's a lot of conflicting information. Like one thing we do know, a peanut is a legume. That has a hard outer shell. It's a seed. It's super confusing, but essentially there's seeds, there's nuts, there's drupes and legumes.
And peanuts.
Well, a peanut is a legume, like
Yeah.
a bean. Crazy. So I wonder if baruca nuts are actually nuts.
So I did a little investigation. Barucas grow, they're not, I don't know. They grow on trees. They're wild harvested, so that's cool.
They look like
They're not
pepitas pumpkin seeds in terms of
grown
the shape.
intentionally. Native to South America. This one says right here, product of Brazil and Bolivia. So, oh yeah, and it says they're the highest antioxidant of any nut.
And they're higher in protein and they're less high in fat than other nuts. So that's cool. I'm all about that lower fat diet. I eat fat every day. I eat like an avocado, a coconut's meat worth, chia flax. I eat fat every day, just not a lot. Are these pure? Are these toasted? Are these
They're
salted?
toasted.
Salted?
Ooh, they smell like peanuts. We've been holding these since
We're just
October.
roasted.
Since
Really?
since we
Since
came
we're in
back from the States.
Did you find them at Erewhon?
Yeah, I got them in Erewhon.
This is the exact type of packaging I envision for our cash crop products that we end up making, like Mucuna powder or dry golden berries, in packaging like this.
But biodegradable.
Of course.
Yeah.
What is this?
All right, let's try it. No, this one is not biodegradable.
Put these nuts in my hand, babe. Sack me up. Like, yes. Whoa, they're a lot bigger than I expected. Wow.
They're so pretty.
They're so pretty.
Remember when they used to give peanuts in the airplane?
Yeah, and at Dodger games, that's what I think. Here, you want to split these together?
Yeah. Maybe one day they'll give you baruca nuts.
They're so beautiful.
On your way to Costa Rica.
Can we grow this tree? I mean, in theory.
No, because it's of the savannah. Cheers.
Hard as
Whoa.
shit.
What the?
Now roast them. You can tell they're higher in protein and less in fat. They're not oily. Super dense.
Super dense.
I'm
so
getting
good.
pistachio hints.
Mm-hmm. Cashew.
Peanutty.
Like a cashew pistachio.
Super hard. Like, this is one of the biggest, thickest nuts that I've really
This is
seen.
the hardest nut I ever bit.
And it is roasted, so you have to...
It's roasted. I saw on
Factor
the
that.
on the back of the website, it said because it makes the nutrients more available or something
Yeah.
when they're roasted. Mmm. I like them.
At least 25% fewer fat calories than other nuts. Antioxidant, higher in fiber than any other nut. Highest fiber
They're
nut
so
in the
good.
world.
I want to eat the whole bag.
Let's see. 3 servings. So in this entire bag, there's 280, 320 calories. 420. 420 calories in the bag. I see you, Darren. So 90 grams, 420 calories. You want to start this off one? My hand that was cut up from a little bicycle tumble, but I'm fine. Wow, it's delicious.
Very nice.
Incredible. Highly recommend it.
I forgot how much it was for the bag, but
Yeah.
I would try
Probably
it.
expensive.
If you can try it, I would say go for it. These nuts are good. 2
Next.
thumbs up.
Next
Okay.
tropical nut.
Next tropical nut.
We know about this one a lot more.
Sacha inchi. These are local, super hyper local.
These are from our town. And we're growing them. We have one big plant that we planted a few months ago that's doing great, and we're going to plant a lot more once it starts to fruit. But this is a vine.
Yeah, so it's so
Not a
interesting.
tree.
It's another nut, but this one is not from a tree. It's from a perennial, so it's a multi-year life plant.
Yeah. Oh,
What else about it?
you also have to toast them.
Yeah, these
not
are
to be eaten raw.
toasted because supposedly I have toxins.
A lot of beans and nuts, when they're raw, have certain toxins, and cooking them, roasting them, takes them out. It's just the best smelling. We eat these every night. They're
Yeah.
so good.
So these are,
These are
grow
grown by our
and-
neighbor
yeah,
Jesse Blen.
Yeah. But we have a Tico friend that processes them. He roasts them and he makes nut butter.
He meets us on his motorcycle, hands them off, little deal, nut deal. And we eat like 5 or 6 a night, right?
Yeah.
We read something online
I think he told us.
to not eat more
What
than
was his name?
6.
Mr. Señor Alvarado.
I don't know-
Gracias,
I don't
Señor
know if
Alvarado.
that's true, but that's what we do to savor it anyways.
Yeah.
What else can you say about them?
What else can I say? You can find them in the States, probably also in like Erewhon.
Yeah.
I've seen this fancy brand sell them.
And they make sacha inchi
Are you gonna
oil.
try it? Yeah, there's such an inchi oil.
Because these are higher in fat, like the crunch was easier to bite into than the baruca, because they're like oily and fatty versus that hard, fibery.
Yeah, we
Of the
don't have the
baruca.
nutrition facts on these. It's too jungly to do that out here.
It packs one of the boldest flavors of a nut. Like it's
Yeah.
just the flavors dominating the mouth, and it's really unique. Like can't really be compared to anything.
No.
It's so good. Like, would you say it's one of your favorite nuts? I think for me, yeah.
So good, yeah.
Like I love almonds, which are really droops.
I love all nuts, really. There's not a single nut I don't like.
Yeah.
You?
No. How could you not? They're Mother Nature's fat source from the
Yeah.
trees. They're so good. And they're the reproductive organs of the plant. It's just
Yeah.
amazing.
These are definitely the most rare. I guess here it's more common.
I never heard of them before I got here.
Yeah, but here now they import them, but it would be so rare to have walnuts.
Here, let's see if we can
Long
play
ago.
a game. Is there a nut that you or I have tried that the other hasn't? We both tried macadamia, almonds, sacha inchi, pecans, Walnuts.
Pecan pie.
Pecan pie is my favorite.
Walnuts. Hazelnuts.
Chestnuts. That's also a true
Ooh,
nut.
chestnuts
That's a true
are
nut.
so good. Peanuts.
Which is a legume.
Pistachio.
Pistachio.
Let's see, can we name more? Are we missing any? Walnuts inside of dates.
And obviously I believe in a low-fat diet, so not to just be cramming nuts in your mouth. And macaroni loves nuts. Come here. You love nuts. Nuts are good for Waggy. Just not the cow beans. Where was she? She's so excited. But a good little thing to I don't know, something that struck home with me years ago when I was learning about what type of vegan diet or macronutrient ratio for optimal health and to reduce risk of disease is we're so used to in culture, in our modern culture, nuts are processed in just their nut form, and you buy a big bag or a jar of nuts that you can just put in your mouth. Whereas really when you think about it in nature, how many pecans or walnuts or chestnuts would you eat if you were picking them off a tree? You have to take off this
It's so much work.
It's so much work. You have to take off
You
this
need a
husk.
hammer.
Exactly. You wouldn't be just jamming them in your mouth. And that's, I don't know, that kind of, that was an interesting little anecdote that, yeah, you shouldn't base your diet off of nuts, because really what it takes to process them, it takes time, and they're
Appreciate them.
Appreciate them.
And especially if you're out there in any place and getting almonds, just always consider that they're so water intensive. Try to get some organic almonds if you can. Know your farmer.
Of course, always. But one of the things I always get annoyed about
almond milk
is people say oh, there's so much water in almonds, almond milk's bad. But when you factor in how much water it takes to produce cow's milk, when you think of the food, the plants grown to feed the cow, the water the cow drinks, the water used to clean the pens of the factory farm that the milk came from, milk uses way more water when you're talking about factory farm standard milk, which is 99% of the milk produced in the country. So almonds aren't as bad. Almond milk is not as bad as conventional cow's milk. What's another nut?
Tiger nut.
I haven't had that. Have you had it?
I think I did. Yeah.
Speaking, really, where?
My brother got it once. It was like this, ooh, fancy nut. You can probably find it in some specialty stores.
And speaking of another nut,
that
brings us to...
is in a chocolate. This is a chocolate from Brazil. It's all in Brazilian and Portuguese. Licuri is with coconut milk, vegan. And so this nut, we got the first nut from a tree, then from a plant vine. This one is from a palm tree.
What?
Yeah.
So it's like the seed inside the fruit of a palm fruit.
Yeah. Also
we've been really learning about palm fruits too.
Palm.
I would have never known. When I grew up, I just thought oh, dates come on palm trees. But here we've eaten fresh palm fruit, on Daniel's farm, what they make freaking palm oil out of. If you actually eat the fruit, it's tasty. And then we have pehibaye, which also comes from a palm, which is a different palm fruit. And now there's this licuri nut that comes from a different palm fruit. Living in the jungle has just expanded our minds.
It's starting to melt.
And that's perfect.
This is the final piece.
Let's show them.
Show that. So this one grows on a palm tree native to eastern Brazil. And I learned that 95% of Lear's macaw's diet is licuri nuts.
Wow.
And
I wonder what kind of macaw. We have scarlet macaws here, the red ones.
It's a black one. I just saw it quickly. Then another fun fact I learned about these, it's in the list of the slow food Presidia. If you're not familiar with slow food, you can look it up. But the Presidia is this list of foods or processing methods from around the world that are on the brink of being lost. So that was cool.
I did not know about that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
I love you, baby.
So it's
Teach me
all,
so much.
full circle with the school I've been to. And Yeah, I also read that they make milk with the. I'm not sure if with the nut or with the fruit. Probably with the nut.
Yeah. Cheers.
And oil.
We've
Cheers.
already tasted this one.
Yeah.
So coconut milky.
Mm.
And go to my Instagram for chocolate tastings video. You let craft chocolate slowly melt on the tongue.
This one is easy to melt because coconut milk melts easier.
Yeah. So the crazy thing about this nut is how spongy, in a great way. Like, I love how it feels in my mouth.
It really is like coconut.
It's like coconut. It's like chomping in.
Like dried coconut.
The dried, mature coconut. Wow, you're so right. Which makes sense. Comes from a palm.
Yay!
It's fibrousy, like coconut meat. Maggie, we'll throw your toy in 1 second. We're filming. Macaroni, don't you bark when we're filming. Would you like a baruca nut? She's your daughter too.
Coconut. Is coconut a nut?
Only John knows. Message to give to the people.
These nuts are crazy. Woo!
Expand your nut repertoire. Go to the tropics. Do you think most nuts come like the tropics have the most diverse amount of nuts?
I don't know. These are the only ones I'm sure there are more that we haven't tried, but maybe in the States, are there other nuts that we don't know about?
Yeah, comment down below nuts that we didn't mention.
Yeah.
Nuts that we should try to grow in Costa Rica. We have
or that we should travel to try.
Don't we have a chestnut
we have
tree
one,
in our nursery?
Malabar chestnut.
We have a Malabar chestnut tree on our farm.
I've never tried,
we have
but
sacha
I read about
inchi.
it.
We don't have macadamia yet, but we'll plant some in May.
Find one.
What other nuts are we going to produce?
Well, no, we have peanut butter fruit.
And we do grow peanuts, and we eat them, and they're delicious, even though it's not a nut. We have peanut butter fruit, but that's just a fruit tree.
Yeah.
So yeah. Come to our land, eat our nuts, put our nuts in your mouth, and expand your consciousness.
Bravo.
And please comment down below if you want to see Natalia in more videos. Much love, Dream Extreme. Nice job, babe. That was so good.